It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet Show tonight.
Hello, this is a pregnant cat. Well, I don't know actually. I have no idea. This is Siggy. She showed up on our porch on like August 29th ish. She was like very scrawny at that time, very small, girly pop. We got her some cat food. She hung out on our porch for a couple weeks, just vibing. On September 9th, sorry about that. On September 9th, she started looking like so imminently pregnant that we were like, oh, she's going to be giving birth like at any moment. That has not yet happened. On, I think like September like 22nd-ish, something like that, we kidnapped her into our screened-in porch, and she's vibing. Early on, like originally, we had like a family meeting about her, and there were calls made to vets, and to humane societies, and to trap and neuter release groups, and it was just very definitive that like they did not have space, they did not have appointments. Our vet was like, we don't confirm cat pregnancy and we won't see pregnant cats, which I thought was super weird at the time, and I still think is weird. Anyway, all this to say, we were like, perhaps a cat spay abortion situation, because obviously she was a stray cat and there are so many kittens and humane societies are like super overrun. But we were afraid. It's like there's like more harm that is possible to the mama cat, depending on how far along they are in terms of their pregnancy. And because like we're not going to drop her off at a humane society, which I think would be a completely responsible thing to do if you didn't have like space or energy for her. But like we do. So I was like, no, like, you know, under these circumstances, what would be best for her would be for her to continue her pregnancy, have the kittens, us get the kittens adopted out, us get her adopted out, whatever that ends up looking like. You know, we have the resources to do that, and a lot of shelters right now don't have those resources, so we may as well essentially foster this cat, right? So she definitely has worms. What do you need, baby? She doesn't want me to talk about the worms. She for sure has worms. The question is if she also has kittens, and we don't know, truthfully. And I thought she was going to give birth like way before this, like so much before this. I continue to be surprised that she hasn't given birth. I would have sworn like 2 weeks ago that I felt little tiny kitten kicks, and now it's like not something that I'm feeling. We've known her for like 81 days, and cat gestation is 60 to 70 days. So like if she was, for instance, 2 weeks pregnant on September 9th, when we were like, whoa, she's about to give birth, and there's a bunch of kittens in there, then she might only be like 2/3 of the way through her pregnancy right now, which would make sense for a couple of reasons, and would also mean that like maybe we wouldn't really be able to feel like wiggling and moving around in there. Lots of people have asked about her nipples. They look like normal cat nipples. Yeah, her habits are super like regular. She's not lethargic. She's not like throwing up. She's using her cat box very regularly. She's eating food. She's drinking water. So unfortunately, there's not a way or reason for us to take her to the emergency vet other than my just like unending curiosity and like frustration about not knowing what's going on with the situation. If she was like seemed ill or had like pus or like something else stressful going on, we would take her to the emergency vet, obviously. But it seems like right now she's just a very happy cat who is either super filled with worms or filled with kittens with a little bit of worms. So she has a vet appointment on October 17th We're taking her to our sweet little neighborhood vet who's going to get her stuff figured out. A lot of folks have been asking, like, why are we not deworming her in the meantime? And that is at the recommendation of our vet who we trust, as well as animal healthcare folks on the internet. Essentially, for dewormers, there are ones you can buy over the counter, and then there are ones that you can get prescription. And in Oregon, the prescription rules are very different than in other states. So, like, that's kind of relevant. Basically, we can't get, I believe, the dewormer that she would need without a vet prescription, and they have to see the animal to do that. In addition to that, I would rather her get prescription medication and have someone check her out. Most dewormers that you can buy over the counter are like tested on animals and like safe for animals, but they're not tested on pregnant animals necessarily. And again, she's like Schrodinger's pregnant cat, so like we don't know if she's pregnant, right? But if she is, I don't want to like make her ill and make things worse, right? Because that would be very stressful and bad. We want her pregnancy to like go well so that she is not then depressed. So that's kind of part of it. There were a lot of folks who were like, oh, just put diatomaceous earth in her food. It seems as if, unfortunately, there is like, similar to the human crunchy pipeline health and wellness thing, there is an animal one that is not the same, but has kind of like similar, like, there are definitely worms that diatomaceous earth won't fix. And I don't want to just like give her something that somebody on the internet said to give her. When we're going to get her a prescription in the next, like, less than a week at this point, right? There are really stressful health things that can be happening with a cat who appears to be pregnant but is not necessarily pregnant. There's like pyometra, which is essentially like an infection of the uterus that is like very stressful. There are sometimes very few symptoms of it. There are sometimes a lot of symptoms of it. There's also FIP, which can be very, very stressful. She is a stray cat, you know. She's not been spending any time with our other kitties. We're washing our hands aggressively after spending time with her. Our other cats are not going to get worms. They're going to be fine. She cannot live inside the house. There's absolutely no way. If she's going to have kittens, they're going to be out here, and then we will get them adopted out. We had talked at Sunny's, the folks at Sunny's house, about doing like a kitten day at Sunny's house, where we could have like trap, neuter, release groups like do tables, like tabling, and like a humane society do tabling, so folks can learn about like how they could foster kittens if they wanted to, like animal adoption, like what trap, neuter, release resources there are in their area for animals that are like stray that they're seeing and like catching and like those kinds of things. And then like have kittens there for people to like meet kittens but not adopt them. In a perfect world, if there are kittens, we're gonna partner with a humane society to have those cats essentially adopted out by them after we've like spent our time fostering them. It's because then they would be getting vaccines, and it's just like if she has like 10 kittens, it's going to be very expensive for us to do like vaccines and like fixing of like cats. Yeah, so all of that kind of depends on Siggy, on what's happening, on whether or not she's pregnant. She's a very happy girly, which is great. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where we're in a weird situation where we're gonna try our very best. Hi, baby. Hi, baby girly, come here. We're gonna try our best to help her in the way that we're able to. And in the ways that we're not able to help her involve going to the emergency vet just to satisfy the curiosity of the greater internet, which I completely understand, because we are all waiting with bated breath to see what's going on with this little girly pop. She's so sweet. We're fairly certain that she is like truly a stray cat, because she like didn't know how to use a litter box. Originally when we like saw her and found her, she was like very standoffish, and she's obviously become much more friendly. But she had like very clean fur, and I was like, oh, she must belong to someone. And then I heard from other people who've spent time with stray long-haired cats or like trap, neuter, release like long-haired cats that if long-haired cats have really clean fur, it's way more likely that they have lived outside the whole time. Because like indoor cats don't have to worry about being dirty as much. So if it's like a dirty looking long-haired cat that you find outside, it's way more likely that they've like accidentally like escaped and that they need help getting back to their home. She figured out the litter box very quickly because she's a very smart girl, so that was great. Some folks had given us suggestions of putting, there's like cat attract like pheromone things that you can put in litter, or some people had talked about putting like dirt in with the litter to try to get her to use it. What we ended up doing was she picked a spot to pee on that was like where paper bags had been. It was like on the opposite side of her litter box. I didn't fully clean up that pee, which is kind of gross. I just kind of like got rid of the paper like bag, and then there's sort of like pee residue, and then I set the litter box on top of it, and she did great. She figured it out very quickly and was like, oh, okay. And now we've moved the litter box where we want the litter box to be. She's just eating like the cat food that we have. And then I got her a couple of cans of like the like high nutrient like kitten food, because if she has worms, they could be yoinking her nutrients, and if she has kittens, then like definitely she needs that. Yeah, she's been great. We just don't know what's happening and are kind of like in suspense. It's very funny. People on the internet were saying like, oh my God, like, you know, you guys have been asking for a pregnancy, and like that this is not what you meant. And so I've been saying like, we screamed into the void and the void misheard us, which I think is silly. But also it is now sort of mimicking a trying to conceive cycle in a big way, because we're like, is this bitch pregnant? Are you pregnant? We kind of have to act like you're pregnant, but we don't really know, which is frustrating. Oh, the vet appointment, I will say. When I had originally called them, I was like, hello, we have, I believe, a stray pregnant cat. We just want to make sure that she's pregnant and figure out, like, if she is, like, FIV positive, or, like, what needs to happen, or, like, anything she might need, or, like, vaccines. And they were like, we don't deal with pregnant cats. We don't have the resources to figure out if she's pregnant or not. And I was like, oh. Okay. They were like, call us when she has kittens. And I was like, all right. Okay. So then a couple weeks later, I called our same vet again and was like, hello, this is a cat. She might be pregnant. She definitely has worms. Can you give me a dewormer? And they were like, it has to be prescription, but we can see her. And I was like, oh, well, great. So I don't know if the person was just like having a rough day or if they were confused the first time that I called. But essentially she has an exam appointment to get checked out. And we know she has worms. She definitely has worms. Yeah, so we'll see. I will update y'all on October 17th. Probably not on YouTube. It'll probably be on, well, I don't know. I guess if there are going to be kittens, then that'll become like a separate YouTube vlog of like raising the kittens, probably. But if not, then it'll just be TikTok videos of me being like, this cat is a con artist and a liar. Huh. Yeah. I know. Why are you so cutesy? Meow, meow, meow. Okay. That's all I got.